Hi, welcome to Cash with Ash. I'm Ash, your hyperfixated finance bestie, and today we're doing a deep dive on emergency funds. Like I mentioned in last week's video, an emergency fund is a savings account that you can use if emergencies happen within your life. For example, last year I got laid off from my job, and without my emergency fund, I would not have been able to go through my unemployment era the way that I did. We think about emergency funds in terms of monthly expenses. So if you remember the needs, wants, savings budgeting approach, we're thinking about your needs here. So my monthly need spending is going to be different than your monthly need spending. And rather than giving you a hard and fast number to try to follow, having it in terms of monthly expenses is more helpful because that's what's really going to be on the line if anything were to happen in your life. Typical recommendation here is to start out with 1 month of expenses. That doesn't seem feasible within your financial situation at the moment. Aiming for something like $500 to $1,000 in your savings account, just so you don't have to put things on credit cards if anything were to happen, to prevent you from going into debt would be what I would do here in that situation. The next step would be to increase that to something like 3 to 6 months if you're getting regular, predictable income. And if you're on a more irregular or self-employment type of income, then the recommendation would be 9 to 12 months. Really, these ranges all depend on your financial situation, comfort that you have with those numbers, and really what's gonna let you have that feeling of psychological safety if something were to happen. I think a really important thing to think about with emergency funds is where you wanna store this money. I personally have had totally separate savings account so that I didn't have the ease of access of being able to transfer money out of that account into like my checking account. Now I just have everything all in one because I find it easier, simpler, and less stressful for me to have to like go through and log into a bunch of different accounts to track my money. But if you feel that you're that type of person that would be tempted by having that all in the same financial platform, then definitely one of the ways to go would be to have a totally separate savings account that has your emergency fund. Whatever your goal is for your emergency fund, I personally wouldn't keep my savings in anything other than a high yield savings account. I'll do a whole separate video about high yield savings accounts. If you have any questions or would love to hear what goal you're working towards with your emergency fund or what goal you've already achieved with your emergency fund. But remember, hot girls have emergency funds.